Jones on the bow, a dream come true. That is some moment. Aguero!
Welcome to Sport from the Bleachers. Results and opinions for the fans, by the fans. We're recording on a Thursday night this week because everyone's been crook and we've all had issues. One bloke's drinking from the Kool-Aid, another guy is crook as Rookwood. This podcast doesn't work well if Para are winning and St George seem like they're on the right track. So let's see how we go this week, lads. JB Young, and welcome.
Thank you, mate. How you going?
Hiya, mate.
Boys, I want to ask you one thing before we get into the start of the show. St George look like they're on track with Flano, and Para have got a halfback selected in the Origin. This podcast doesn't work well, and the mock got up the Nuggets. What's doing?
Yeah, what a week.
Is that why you postponed, JB?
Yeah, I think so. It has to be.
You've been on a bender.
The mock got one up.
That's it. Exactly right. It's a good week. It was a good weekend of football, good weekend of sport all around, really. So
it's been great. Look, I know we've all had some sort of lurgy this week, so we are recording on a Thursday, but it does give us a little bit of. If we had a recorded Tuesday, we wouldn't have been able to get through some stuff that's going on lately, and we'll talk about that now. Origin preview in a sec, but boys, Man City did the unthinkable.
Yeah,
they got the treble, and our man, it's Young, and I'll preface this because both you and I are on board this. It's basically Jack Grealish's world, and we're living in it.
Not wrong, mate. Not wrong. He is the best person in the world. As much as I hate Man City, I am obsessed with Jack Grealish. He is living his life up the way he should. And he's doing what everyone wants to do, mate. And he's just not giving a flying fuck.
So JB, for context around it, he's been on basically a 72-hour bender and then just rocked up to England camp.
Nice.
Yeah, dead set. Playing for
England, I think I know the bloke you're talking about. He's walking around the streets with no shirt on.
Yeah.
Hasn't changed out of his kit yet. Yeah.
So, mate, the game was in the final was in Turkey, Istanbul, Justin, and like obviously when the game finished, he just hit the lash big time, and they were doing his celebrations and all this sort of stuff, and he's on the mic and he's getting interviewed, and he just said, he goes, "I'm a turkey, and the turkey, and the turkey needs feeding," and he throws his head back and he's just getting vodka poured straight into him, live broadcast and everything. Oh, it's unreal. That's just one of the things he's been doing.
And to finish off the turkey joke, he posted something on Instagram yesterday, and he said the last week, and the last photo is of a turkey.
Just a picture of a turkey.
Just a picture of a turkey.
Has any club done the treble before? Is that a rare thing, or
it's rare?
It's rare.
It's very rare, but yes, it's happened.
So it was my team, Manchester United.
Is it the only other one, or
98, 99. There's that's the English Premier League. There has been others.
Like Premier League, FA Cup.
Oh, yeah, okay,
There's been, sorry. I mean, just for English football.
Yeah, no, I get that.
So Celtic did the treble.
Celtic's done the treble. Barcelona's done the treble for the Spanish side. So, but for the English side, it's very, very hard to do. So that's the first one in, since 98.
Since 2000. When would the
98?
98?
98, 99.
Yeah. So it's a big thing.
Massive.
Man City have a decent squad, so plaudits to them. But look, we've started with football, and I'll quickly touch on the Aussies are playing the Argentinians, the Argies tonight at 10 o'clock tonight, our time, Australian time. So they're playing in Beijing, playing in China. Somehow Australian football's turned into the politicians of the world, and we have to play in China instead of Australia. So work that out. We're somehow
Is that our home game?
Yeah, our home game, and we're now being a Chinese correspondent. Basically, the whole of Australia hates football.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Somehow the whole of Australia hates football, yet it's the world game. So we come. It's now political. We're now political pawn in the world politics. But anyway,
I just find it funny how you wouldn't you use that opportunity to pump up the women's World Cup that's coming up?
JB, I'm telling you, it's the world. It's Albo. It's political politics, mate. It's because they're going to sell out Beijing Stadium with Messi going there. So Australia are playing politics.
Okay.
Imagine Messi coming to Sydney, mate, or Melbourne.
Mate, you wouldn't get a seat.
No. Melbourne, you'd get 90,000.
Easy. So, but I quickly want to touch on it because I hate Man United like anyone, but Young'un did put on his man Ganako, or if that's how you say it, apologies for not saying it, is his young gun a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
He looks like he's going to start for the Argentinians tonight. So
massive.
This podcast somehow does know what it's talking about because there's some other stuff we'll talk about later on where we've picked up on. And so, Young, well done on that. It looks like he's going to start tonight for the Argies. So,
no, good on him. He'll rip it. There's no one will be able to defend that.
I hope Harry Suter two-foots him and puts him into a Beijing stand. That's all.
We'll see. We'll see.
Boys, before we get stuck into the Origin preview, Young'un, you've got a young gun?
I do have a young gun this week. It's on the back of last week.
Selfish young gun?
So selfish, but deserved.
Well deserved.
He's look, it is the brother-in-law of Brendan Hands this week. I've got to give him a rap. He played his second only game of 80 minutes on the weekend against the Doggies. It was the late call up on the game day. Apparently, I actually know a bit more of this. Hodjo's hurt his neck. Apparently, it's some nerve damage that he did, and it was on the morning of the game, and he hasn't been back since. He hasn't been back to training. Nothing. So
was it like an incident on the morning of the game, or was it from last week?
No, I think it's
the previous week.
I can't confirm whether it was from previous week or training or anything like that. But it was
the
morning of where he said, "Look, I'm out."
Yeah,
and he literally hasn't been back since. So, with that being said, Brendan's been named at number 9 again to start against Manly this week. So, all eyes on Brendan to back up for his second week in a row. Playing, no doubt he'll be playing 80 minutes. So keep an eye on him. I thought he did really well last week for only his second stint at 80 minutes. He made a couple of blunders, but I mean, you boys can comment on that. But me and being the brother-in-law,
before I let the Parramatta Juggernaut jump on the back of it for a second, I do want to preface that we have been saying it for about 6 weeks before JB, you jump in and put your 2 cents in. We have been saying it as a podcast and as a para fan forum at times that they wanted Brendan to have more minutes, and what happens when Brendan comes on changes the game or influences the game, and he hasn't had a chance to influence the game. And for me, the 2 times he's had longer than 60 or 55 minutes on the pitch, they've smacked every team. I know it was Canterbury again, but this podcast is the bleachers have said for a long time he deserves more minutes. And look, selfishly, we think he deserves more, but it just shows what happens if you give a young guy a go.
That's it, mate. That's it.
Yeah, I do agree, obviously, with what we've been saying the whole time about him being starting and the difference he does make. And we spoke about reasons why, especially I think he should be starting is because we do start slow.
Yep.
And on the weekend, I mean, we went in at half time. We had just 4 tries to 1 in the first half. So
played from in front for a long time. For the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
Properly in front.
Yeah. And it was just that the play was a lot quicker, and it made it hard for the Bulldogs to, rummage around in defence. But look, yeah, he made a couple of errors, but I mean, that comes with experience of playing 80. You know, it was generally in the back end of the game anyway.
Yeah.
He's getting a bit lethargic in the legs, but you did see the difference, trust me. You did see the difference of that quick play. Hence why I think Mitch and Gutho were able to connect so well because they were able to get that quick ball and the defence didn't have time to understand what they were trying to do. So,
look, I know we'll quickly touch, and it's off topic a little bit, but most of the top teams, they're 7, 1, and 9, do a lot of the damage. Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
And
definitely.
And it's the first time Para have had a 7, well, at least a 7 and a 1. The reason a 7 and 1 where it seemed to be able to do the damage is because the 9 got them ball. Yeah.
Well, it's the same as like last year, sorry, like when we had Reed. I mean, we can't say that Reed.
Gutho was scoring tries.
Yep. And, you know, guys to the grand final. So it does make that. And then Reed plays very similar to how Hansy plays, quick off the line.
Yeah.
So I spoke to Brendan just the other day, and he's trying to more focus on his game and getting speed and trying to get up the middle like as quick as possible rather than try to control the game. I think that's his mentality at the moment. He's going to try to change that a bit just to stop trying to control all the players around him and just focus on doing his job.
And look, to be fair to him, Campbell Gillard was back as well, and you could see him just straighten it up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's a great young gun. Although we have been, it's a deserved young gun, and we have been saying it for a long time. He deserves it. So Hansy, again, we were the first. So don't forget who told you and who's back, who's putting you up, mate. So keep on listening, boys. I guess the big thing this week is Origin. Before we get on to Origin, I want to ask you both a quick question before we start. Is Origin impacting the standard of NRL?
Well, I think it always does to this time of the year, to be honest.
But are we seeing enough talent from 1 through 30 of every team to warrant the big impact Origin's having, or should Origin then be a standalone sort of 3 weeks?
I see you're saying so the players don't have a break.
Well, yeah, because I'll ask you. I heard the argument was Cleary did his hammy, right? Cleary did his hammy, and it looks like for me it's overuse. His injury is, and look, it's a coach's prerogative to stand him down, right? But if you're standing down one of the best players and the most talked about player in the game, does that impact what the NRL is as a product?
Yeah,
I think it just comes
because it's a lot faster and tougher than it was 10 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So do we need to change what's going on?
Do it like
the format,
the COVID year.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying necessarily the end of the year. I'm saying does the
NRL
get to take a break?
A 3-week break.
And it's a Saturday night. Or it's a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you play your internationals. And you play your internationals with, your Scotlands, your Englands, your Fiji, whoever you want to do.
Yeah.
And we might lose the Luais, the To'os, the Crichtons to Samoa, but mate, they're going to be replaced anyway.
If you want the best out of Origin, you're going to have to do it.
Well, I'm just asking.
No, it's a good point. It's a valid point. I mean, and it's proven now for what we're witnessing. We're losing massive players.
That look at this weekend.
100%. You've lost Cleary. You've lost Latrell, 2 of the biggest guns in our side.
Yeah, but you've also like for Para's point of view, right? And it's no fault of their own. And it's like Dylan Brown stood down. It is what it is. But they've got rid of Jacob Arthur. But now they've lost Moses, right? So, not that it's a throwaway game. It's just, is it right for are you going to pay your money this week to go and what? Like if you're a Cowboys fan, Penrith have 9 of their 9 players out.
I suppose it's very much the argument can fall either way depending on where your side fits in it all, you know. Like, yes, for us at the moment, it's not ideal for Mitch to go out due to where we are sitting currently. And you could say Penrith could probably deal with it. Maybe not clearly been out for that long, but I do agree. You have some warrant there. Like, it's not a bad shout having that mid-year break and have no buys kind of either side throughout the season, and just have a 3-week, you know, State of Origin international type series. Yeah.
I'm not. It doesn't bother me too much about how the clubs are affected. I think more as the pinnacle as what State of Origin is, you need your best players, and you can't be backing up for your club because you are the $1 million player, and that's where the injuries are coming in, which is proven, which is what we're witnessing now. State of Origin is what?
Yeah,
what's that?
I was saying, should they not be able to go back to play for their club?
Well, there's like this is the argument. And we could argue this too. It's a great point. It was just I guess a conversation starter, and I think it needs to be spoken about because the game's quicker, faster, and tougher than it probably ever was. Not tougher is probably not the word. Stronger than it ever was.
Yeah.
And is player 1 to 30 deep enough to get through an Origin period?
Not at the moment, I suppose. No.
Like, do you get sort of what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Like, you know, it's from Paris' point of view, yeah, we're playing our 6 and 7 aren't ours would normally be anywhere near our 6 and 7 this week.
That's right. And Brisbane, I know Brisbane did it for years, and they got flogged most weeks. Is that good? So, is that good for the competition's integrity?
Wow. No, look, I think they could do it better. I think the counter argument is that, you know, it all kind of evens itself out in time because some teams don't get the better run of the ball and some don't, you know. So
yeah. No, look,
I think it's a fair argument, yeah.
Yeah, and it's probably an argument we can have week in, week out, and it's probably an argument we can have, you know, with someone else that ends up coming on the potty. Boys, your reaction to the team that Freddie's picked, and let's park Moses and all that for a second and talk about the big talking point. Why was Latrell selected?
I think Latrell was selected based on...
Is it media?
Well, look, he was selected for game 1, rightly so, right? And he got injured. Now, we lose. If we win, I don't think he even gets talked about at all. About coming back for game 2. Like, why would you try and change, you know? Now, he gets selected. Now, I don't know the real story about if he was ever going to be fit or not.
So I'll ask you this.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Critter was one of our best players.
Yeah, so I'll ask you this. It looks like the paraphysio's been in camp.
South physio, yeah.
Sorry, who did I say?
Para.
Sorry, the Bunnies physio's been in camp. Who's ruled who out here? And this is what I'm talking about, integrity of the competition. Who's ruled who out?
Well, yeah, that's not a bad point. I would hope that New South Wales has ruled him out from the point of...
Or has Freddie just got jack of it and gone, you know what, piss off?
Yeah, potentially, because, I mean, he's got that much heat on him at the moment.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the last thing he needs is a half-hearted... And Latrell's a player that you can tell if he's not. He's like Tommy, you know, Turbo. If he's not 100%, you can tell. He sticks out like a fucking dog's ball. So maybe that's what it is, mate. Hopefully that's what it is. Hopefully Freddie's going, look, enough's enough. I'm not just going to sit here till the fucking last minute before the game and then,
we just needs to work on this. He needs to work on his players that are playing in that position.
But I guess as a collective, I don't think we lose much. Look, we lose a lot because Latrell's a gun, but I think Critter did. He didn't do anything wrong, and and he probably overachieved. He did everything he needed to do. I think we probably lose a bit of aggression, but I don't think we lose much with Critter being there at the moment, to be fair.
No, I don't think so. But I think I don't know. It just concerns me with the amount of changes that we've had to make with players being injured and whatnot. But I mean,
well, let's get into it.
That's going to lead us into this next question. I'm no doubt you're going to speak about.
Well, let's get into it. This podcast isn't the way it is if Para are doing well. Sorry, JB. It's a dead set. But for me, I think Moses deserves his spot. He kicks for the most meters, and his defence has improved. And he's getting his team around the park, although not winning at times. He does his job. I think always kicks long and does what he needs to do. And I think that's what's going to help him get through Origin.
Yeah, well, I mean, he showed on the weekend, and you could tell he had a point to prove on the weekend, just with the timing of it all. Yeah, he deserves to be there at the moment with Cleary being out, not available. There is a lot of pressure going in with him, because I think he's played one Origin game from memory.
Yep.
And we lost.
Well, he had a broken back, figured out.
Yeah, well, but they'll always look at his performance and go, yeah, maybe he's not up for it, blah blah, But
all right, well, let's park that there. Sorry, Scott. Let's park that there for a sec. So, Nick Moses deserves his spot, and he's got his team to a grand final in the last 12 months, and he's done everything he's needed to do. And he's going up. Well, the media's plotting him against a guy like Nico, who didn't get his team to a grand final. Yes, he got the Dally M, and he bullied up against basically a flat track bully. Then got pumped by a Munster, Harry Grant, Jerome Hughes the weekend before the Origin selection. I think he deserves it on his own merit, not because Nico lost it. I just think Nico's a 14, or was classed as a 14, and with Appy going down, Nico just didn't make the team. And I think Moses deserves his spot.
Yeah, I do agree with you there, definitely. Yeah,
because we got the 14 wrong. I think they're now happy to admit it that Nico doesn't fit it. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they are playing the violin over Nico for a bit, and look, he's an awesome player.
He's a gun, mate. But so was Stuart McGill. And Stuart McGill didn't play 200 tests like Warney did.
That's right.
Yeah.
And granted, he didn't get a great amount of minutes the first game, but they obviously got the faith in Mitch than they do over Nico. And you're right, with Appy going out, other things change. You know what I mean? You can't it's not just a direct swap. We're talking. Right. There's other pieces on the chessboard that have been moved, and we have to deal with that. So it's not a direct relationship between Cleary and Nico.
Yeah, that's right.
So, which I think the media are trying to drum that up a bit, why would you even pick him if you weren't ever going to play him? It's not as straightforward as that. So
it's not a straight swap because of the circumstances around it. Yeah. No, it's just a shame. It's a shame for Nico because I do feel for him.
Agreed, but it's professional sport too.
Yeah,
he doesn't fit. He doesn't fit. He's a 14 in that side.
Yeah,
and with Appy going out, Cookie or someone's not playing 80.
No, that's right. Yeah,
and they know they got it wrong because now they don't have a back on the bench, so they've gone. We got it wrong. We need two hookers.
Yeah.
So we're all in it. I guess to put a full stop on that, and I know the podcast we talk about the Para thing, but I do think Moses and the three of us can concur that he does deserve. I know JB, you got your Para hat on, but I think he deserves it out of the halfbacks in the league at the moment.
Yeah. I think from a New South Wales halfback point of view, New South Wales possible halfback point of view, he's always been in my head second to Cleary. So,
and he kicks goals as good, if not better than Cleary.
Yeah.
I just think that the only difference between them is Penrith's had more success than Para.
Yeah, and look, I will say one thing. I do think Cleary's a better defender, right?
Yeah.
But Moses has improved a whole lot in that regard, and he's going to get a lot. He's going to get a lot of heat.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, he showed it on the weekend, and also I think that Gutho should be one after his performance on the weekend. So to get Tedesco out.
This podcast is no good if Gutho's scoring tries.
Mate,
next we're going to have Youngin's young gun playing hooker. Why isn't he hooker?
You cannot. There's no way in this world. I know. I wanted Gutho in the Blues side, but he's not going past Dylan Edwards for number one spot, mate. Not a chance.
Come on, JB, take that hat off.
Just go. Whatever you just jabbed into your arm, take it out. All right.
Right. Agree to disagree.
Oh, okay. Well, we're disagreeing. We're not agreeing. What I sort of want to add, or I guess touch on further to that point about Moses is, for me, it probably opens up Jerome Luai a bit more. And I sort of he basically put Samoa on his back in the World Cup and took him to a final, and no one wants to talk about it. And I think no one wants to talk about it because he's the easy guy to beat up in the media. I think he gets a bit more freedom without Cleary being there and dominating a bit. And I think you saw that a bit on the weekend in the Penrith game where he got a lot of ball. A lot of ball.
He was outstanding on the weekend. Outstanding. And
look, JB, I'm happy, and Young, and I know you'll agree with that. And I know, JB, you're not the biggest fan of Luai all the time, but I think it opens him up a bit.
Without Cleary, yeah, it does.
Look, gives him a bit more freedom because he's going to get a lot more ball now. That's all.
Yeah, it does. But the problem is, though, like I always revert back to, well, I mean, that's not like Cleary's got to come back, doesn't he? So, you know what I mean? Like,
but he's not back. He's not back for the next two Origins, mate. So now we're just going to run with what we got.
But it'd be an interesting dynamic between the two of them, Luai and Moses, as in.
What happens?
Who takes the most control, or how they're going to work it? You know,
I think Moses has just got to kick long and let Luai play footy.
I think if Moses kicks long and he kicks for repeat sets, that kind of
and let Luai play footy,
and let Luai run around. I mean, Moses is smart enough to adapt to wherever he is at the time. So
if Blues win, Blues win and go on to win the third game with Moses at halfback, and Parramatta make top 8, Penrith top 4. Is Moses just second to Cleary again for next Origin?
100%.
I think so. It's like Tedesco.
Yeah.
But I just hope that Tedesco doesn't try and play himself
overplay
into
his hand, and
he did game 1.
Yeah. Again, run the ball, stay out of it.
He just needs to
give Luai and Moses the chance to play footy.
Yeah, and just work off what's happening in front of him instead of trying to make it. Yeah.
Take your hit ups. Stay out of. If the ball's
surely Freddie's drilling that into his fucking head.
Yeah. If you don't touch the ball inside the 30-metre line, mate, don't touch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. But I was just saying, I picked up before that the current odds at the moment.
Yeah.
Queensland $1.39.
Mate, it's.
And New South Wales $3.
They should be $1.10. And I'll say why they should be $1.10. And the 1-2 punch of Harry Grant and Ben Hunt it's got to be the best 1-2 punch for a long time, mate. They are. It's a great 1-2 punch. Munster's probably one of the best players in the game at the moment, and mate, I don't know. Look, I really like Reece Robson, boys, and fuck talking about Queensland. I couldn't give a fuck. I don't even know why I give him a rap. But I really do like Reece Robson from the Cowboys. He's a tough bastard. And I think him and Cookie can be a good 1-2 punch. And I think Appy needed a rest in that last 80 minutes.
So do you reckon it'll be like a 50-30 split, or it'll be like Reece Robson 10 either side of half time?
No, I think Reece Robson starts and just goes for as long as he can, and then Cookie finishes it.
Yeah, okay.
Because he's a tough bastard. He's a proper tough bastard. So he'll just go on, knock himself out, and if he gets knocked out, then Cookie comes on.
Yeah, okay, fair shout. Yeah.
I look, it's just I think that's how it'll be, and you keep Cookie out of for his pace. I think you just keep him out of it and just let Reece Robson just go, mate. You're in it because you're a tough bastard. Just go and tackle yourself.
Well, I suppose if Cookie can come on when it's a close game, and the Queensland forwards are tired.
Yeah, that's when
he's bloody in trouble.
That's when he's dangerous.
Yeah, and I want to run this by you. Hudson Young doesn't start.
No.
Liam Martin starts.
Yeah. He picked up a head knock or something today, did he?
Well, no, he got a head knock. He got a Category 1 last week against Penrith, against the Roosters, but he's no symptoms of whatever they say.
Yeah.
But he won't be able to do contact until day of the game, but he's fit to play.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Mate,
I agree. He has to start.
He has to start. I reckon. Yeah, and he's just got to start, mate. And JB, you and I think all three of us, but JB, we spoke about Junior Polo's got to start, and it looks like he's going to.
Yeah,
he has to.
Yeah.
And he's got to play as long as he can. Like, if he's only good to play 20, let him play 20. Don't let him go any longer.
Nah, he's good to play like 50, but he'll need a break obviously between. But that's the way to play him. That's how he plays at Para. He just goes for 20 minutes.
Wind him up, let him go.
Yeah, sits off for 30 and comes out for the last,
Yeah. And look, I think it's a better balance side. I know Cleary's not there and whatever else, but this look, I don't want to say his name, but Tokumanu.
Yeah.
He's a big bastard. He's a proper big bastard. And Freddie's loved him. I know Freddie's loved him for a long time. He's had him in all the junior blues stuff. So hopefully he's got a bit better footwork than what Pangai has. He does.
He scores tries.
Yeah.
We had him at Parramatta now. He's at the Tigers now, but he's good close to the line. He's 10 out in the centre of the field. Look out, like he'll get through. So
poor old Pangai. He had a stroke, didn't he? Is he all right?
Well, mate, he wasn't very good on the weekend, was he? And I think
he was awful, mate. He was awful. Poor fucker.
Was he awful because he was trying to prove a point too, and he went out after it to prove a point.
Oh, yeah, but it was just it was schoolyard shit that he was doing, though, man. It was terrible. It was awful.
Yeah.
Now, you got to be better. You got to be better than that, anyway.
Now, boys, Turbo has a blinder again on the weekend. He did this the week before Origin last time. Surely he scores a hat-trick this week up in Suncorp. Fair income. Or at least he has a go. At least he has a go.
Well, my issue with him going one was I don't know whether it was part of the game plan or not. But
not to give him the ball or not for him to run.
Yeah, he didn't roam. You know how he roams around a bit?
Yeah.
I know he's playing at centre, he's not playing full back, but surely
he was dragging his leg, though. He was dragging his leg.
He wasn't 100%, but he wasn't really being creative. He was just
he was taking hit up.
Catch ball, run straight. Exactly. So we need him to be a bit more versatile and a bit more, asking questions to the defence. But
X factor.
Last year he scored a hat-trick last year, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, we know footy players listen to it because Hansy listened to it, and look what he's doing. He's now starting for Para. So Turbo, if you're listening, just listen to the bleachers, mate, and have a real go. And you could be anything if you take our advice. You
might get a spot on the potty, mate. You never know.
Yeah, we might interview you if you're that good, boys. Question without notice. Score and first try scorer. JB?
Score, I'll go New South Wales 18-16, and I'll go Josh Addo-Carr to score the first try.
There you go, Youngin.
New South Wales 12, Queensland 10.
2 points as well. Wow.
Yeah, and I'll go Tommy Turbo first try scorer.
I think it'll be a close game.
I'm going 28-20 New South Wales, and Payne Haas to score the first try.
All right, that'll tear the roof down. Well, not really, but for us.
Well, yeah. I think it's played up the middle, and I think Payne just running off the back. He's just.
That's his home court as well.
Yeah. I think he scores.
Do you think? This question is out before Para's game. Do you think they were looking at
Reynolds, Adam Reynolds?
Reynolds.
No.
Due to Suncorp and he's played before. No. He was always going. If Moses hadn't played as well, he was always going Moses.
Yeah. Always. I don't even think it was a question, mate. To be honest, and I think the question was brought up by basically the media. To be honest.
Yeah.
I think Moses has always been. He's been second best. Like he was when Cleary didn't play, Moses played. Yeah. And I don't think Moses has done enough not play, if that makes sense. Yeah. Look, Reynolds is a gun. Reynolds is a gun. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but Reynolds has been out quite a fair bit this year.
Yeah.
And Moses has been in form for a long time, and
I just think it's JB. It's a great
good question. Absolutely.
I just think Moses is second best. He's second best.
Yeah.
Because who do you pick for? Okay, who do you pick for Australia? Pardon me. Who do you pick for Australia if Cherry Evans and Cleary are out? You probably pick Ben Hunt, right? But if you go the Ben Hunt, Harry Grant 1-2 punch, it's Moses, as your third best halfback.
Yeah.
Yeah? Does Reynolds play for Australia?
Reynolds?
Yeah. Does Mal pick him?
Well, it's a hard one, I suppose.
Yeah. I just think Moses is next cab off the rank, to be honest.
Yeah, well, it has to be.
As much as I can't, I don't want to because he's Parrot, but it's New South Wales, and you got to do what's best. And the bloke kicks for a living. He dead set kicks for a living.
Yeah. Nah. Well, hopefully he kicks for a kilometre like he does during the week. And anyway,
go the Blues.
Go the Blues. Go the Blues. So we're all tipping a Blues win.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Anything can happen. Anything can happen, mate. I know it's in Suncorp and all that, but it's on the line, mate. Freddie's probably safe to say Freddie's job's on the line as well. So
yeah,
they've got to do it.
All right. Now we are gonna do our Origin review show after, and we hope we're in a bit of a better mood than we did last time, and we hope we're being in Sydney, we might even venture out. If it's 2-1, if it's 1-1, we might think about going. If it's 2-0, there's not a chance I'm leaving home to go. Sorry. I'm staunch blue, but I ain't going to Stadium Australia and waiting 4 hours to get a train home if it's 2-0.
No, not a chance.
All right, now, boys. Again, it's a bit of a split round with it being a bye, and it's tough for most teams. And we won't, mate. And I'll tell you the issue. Para are playing Manly this week, right? This is what I got the shits a bit. Why are Para Manly playing in an Origin round? Like, it's a big rivalry. And look, we can talk about it to the cows come home. It's a big rivalry, and that's one of the main games. You'd sell Para out, even Manly fans had travel for that game, and they're not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again,
well, it kind of works out. It gets Jake Arthur a gig against his old side.
Yeah. But is he selling a stadium out, JB?
No, of course not. No.
And I think that adds fuel to our argument about how it should be. Anyway, fucking hell. We could talk about it for hours. But we will have our sort of, we'll do our potty again leading into it. We'll do 2 next week. But anyway, that's NRL done. Boys, the AFL. What is
next?
Mate, we're in a tipping comp. We may as well not tip. I may as well let the computer tip it.
I don't even know why you're complaining, mate. I'm the worst.
You are.
Yeah, let's just do a quick score check. We haven't done that for a bit.
Well, we got old mate with the password change and everyone's tipped.
Here we go. All right, so just a quick score check. It's a halfway point.
Anyway, but hang on. Before you go, everyone, he's the mock. He may lose after giving a score check.
Oh, that's right. Exactly, yeah. So I'm out. This is combined AFL and NRL, just remember. So
yeah.
I'm out in front, 149. Heado's 138. And old mate, young'un.
Have I hit a ton yet?
Yeah.
Good.
124. So
get in.
You're 25 away from the lead, but
mate,
a couple of 4 rounds, that'll be all right.
You are dead set changing it.
It looks like young. It looks like you're not even tipping. Are you tipping?
I'm fucking tipping. You're just doing the opposite, mate. You fucking sneaky bastard.
He's changing it. Boys, I want to have it now a serious conversation. Again, this podcast doesn't have good content if Carlton aren't winning, and they're not.
Yeah.
It's now not a joke, JP. I know we've been saying it, but they've lost every game that we said they need to win. They've lost every single one.
Yeah. Now,
and playing shit footy.
Yeah. So
is it the coach or the list? I'll ask you this. And I guess, can you paint a picture for, I guess, Young'un and I, as well as our Sydney listeners, about the narrative around Carlton in the Melbourne media, please?
So generally, like, when this type of thing happens, like, well, first of all, the answer list or coach, it's definitely not the list, right? Now, if you look at the list on paper, it's got a couple injuries. They should be a lot better than they are. Yes, they're not kicking straight, and they may not be playing personally as well as they could be. But when this happens in the past, they're quick. They're usually like, obviously the coach isn't, they haven't got the backing. The coach hasn't got the backing of the players, blah, 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 and they'll move them on. They've come out during the week saying that, Vossi's, he'll be here at the end of next year. That's his contract, and we've got no issues with him, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, look, I'm starting to think that the players are not on the same page.
Well, they kicked 6, for context, they kicked 6-16 on the weekend against Essendon.
Yeah. But, not kicking straight can not just mean, you need to dust your skills up a bit. That can be morale. That can be, the feeling around the club, But that's definitely an aspect.
That's a lot of misses. That's a lot of misses.
Oh, yeah, that's shocking. But it's been like that. It's been like that for the last month and a half.
So are they? Can I ask? And I watch it. I watch a lot of AFL, and I watch all the AFL shows. Is Vossi not hard enough? Because he was the toughest player in the world. Is he not hard enough on him?
Oh, for like all reports, he's a tough coach. They said that. I've heard people say that in Brisbane, and Justin Lepich at the time was his assistant coach. Said that he's a tough, taskmaster. But I don't know. It's hard to read. They just don't look like they're putting in, if that makes sense. There's something missing. Just the way they're playing, it's just they're just rolling through the motions. So now, whether that be the coach and them are on the same side and the boards, what's happening around that, I don't know. It's affecting it, but they need to make a change. And usually, it means the coach goes. So,
but he's got the full support of the board, mate.
Yeah, or usually, and they say that in 2 weeks later, he's freaking looking for a job.
So we could be, absolutely. But they're no chance of finals now for our Sydney listeners. They're no chance of finals now, are they?
No, they'd have to do a full 180 and just come on with a wet sail. They're not gonna. No. Not now.
Are Port Adelaide the real deal?
Well, as we speak,
Yes, I was just about to say that. Hit me.
right?
Score.
They're 17 points up.
That's 3/4 time.
Nah, there's 2.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, so it looks like they'll win against the Cats, right?
Okay, yeah.
Now, that to me was the yardstick for them. Yes, they've won. It was at home. They've won 10 in a row. Now, I was going to say before this was, if they can beat the Cats for 11 in a row, then yes, you can't doubt them now.
And their skipper's not playing. He's still playing in the reserves.
Who's that, Boke?
The club captain. What's his name? Jonas.
Oh, yeah.
He's stuck in the reserves because Kenny's gone. We don't need you at the moment. We're going that good. So they're going that good that the club captain doesn't even have to play.
Yeah, no,
or can't get a gig.
After tonight, and I watched a bit before we started recording, and basically when I turned it off to come get ready for this, the Cats were all over them. So that just shows that they can pull it back, get in front, and yeah, they are. Yes, definitely,
Mate.
They are the real deal. But the only thing will be, and it's always been a thing for Adelaide, Port Adelaide, West Coast, Freo. Unfortunately, the grand final gets played at MCG.
So continuing on that point, the grand final gets played at the MCG. Yes.
Yeah.
Brisbane Lions cannot win at the MCG if you paid them.
Yeah, they're hard to read at the moment, eh? They
can't win.
They got
done by the Hawks, mate.
Yeah,
mate, they can't win at the MCG. I'm going to bring some stats for next week because I should have been more prepared. But they cannot win. And I'll bring Daniel Rich is one of their most experienced players, and I think he's won twice in 12 years at the MCG.
Wow. Is it too cold for him? Oh,
wow.
Fuck me dead.
It's 2 round. It might be 2 round.
Mate, I don't know.
Look, you know how clubs have bogey grounds and bogey teams. What you don't want your bogey ground to be is the MCG, because for an AFL team.
Yeah, well, that's
yeah. 95% of your games are there. Yeah,
and the biggest game of the year's there. But
yeah,
JB, I for our non-AFL listeners, it's a bogey ground for the Lions, mate. They cannot win there.
Yeah, it's a bogey ground for a lot, to be honest.
For a lot of travelling teams.
Because generally, like, the biggest teams in the league, that's their home ground.
Yeah, so Richmond, Melbourne,
Carlton, Collingwood, Melbourne, right?
Yeah.
So they can travel and play and pump North Melbourne. They can pump the Bulldogs. They can pump St Kilda. They all played at different ground. Marvel, wherever.
Yeah.
So it's hard to come down and beat Collingwood in front of 85,000 people in round 4.
And Hawthorn still get the same, whether they're like not 90, but they get a decent crowd even though they're winning.
Yeah. So,
just to give the non-AFL listeners an insight to that, Justin, on record of grand final winners, is it predominantly a club from a Melbourne side from that plays at the MCG as their home ground?
Yeah, so Essendon and Carlton are the leaders at like 16 or 18, 16 each.
16 each.
Wow.
And then it's basically like, I think Collingwood's next.
Hawthorn,
Richmond.
Wow.
Richmond. So it's all the MCG-based teams are at the top. And look,
because they play home and away there, right? They play a lot of home and away games there, whether they're a home team or away team.
Yeah. I looked at there was a knock against Richmond the last time they won the flag. They played it was like maybe 13 or 12, more than half of the year at the MCG.
And that was when
home away as well, because they were playing like Collingwood, Carlton, whatever. Yeah. And then the finals, they got the home ground advantage because they finished the top.
First. Yeah. And that was when Hardwick. That was the year Hardwick said we should never play any games at Marvel because we can't win at Marvel.
Because he kept getting done.
Because they kept getting done at Marvel.
But obviously,
that's a big disadvantage. That's a big disadvantage to the other teams. Like, fucking hell.
Yeah. Well,
they train and play there, mate. They train, eat, and play.
But to be fair, Scotty, like it used to be the VFL, so there's a lot of. So hence why, like, Port Adelaide.
It's like the New South Wales Rugby League, right? Queensland get the shits that, all their players went to. It's a similar sort of argument. Why it gets played in Sydney as well.
Yeah.
So it's a similar argument.
It's not like it hasn't been done before. I mean, teams have done it. Sydney, Brisbane for
West
a long
Coast.
time.
I know, but man, if you're getting used to the MCG as your home turf, you're going to start winning more games. So
go and build the MCGs. You say to go and build the dimensions, mate. Redo your ground as the dimensions of the MCG.
Well, I think they've done that at Optus Oval.
Over in
Perth. Over in Perth, yeah.
Yeah, it's really helped the fucking West Coast Eagles.
Mate.
The only thing I can say for the West Coast Eagles, they've got 22 players out.
Okay, so let's lead into it. You blokes, radio craft is amazing. Well done. Sack the entire strength and conditioning team, JB. Now.
All soft tissue.
All soft tissue.
Yeah.
No one's done an ACL. No one's out for concussion or a broken bone. It's all soft tissue.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you're right. Yeah, something we need to look into that, but...
Well, don't look into the coach. It's not the coach's problem. It's
no. And I was just about to say, his job is 10 times more safe than Vossi's job at Carlton. Because
absolutely it is.
It's just nationally expected at the moment that the Eagles are going to struggle, mate. They're going to struggle. But yeah, you're right. They're going to look into something.
Internally.
I think Adelaide 1 year had this, and they looked into it. They went way too hard in their pre-season or something, and the guy got the sack. So
yeah, look internally, mate. You can't have 22 soft tissue injuries.
No. Unprepared or over-prepared.
Change now,
talking of Adelaide, is the Texan the greatest player on earth?
Right. Like it was, what did he kick 10, did he, or something?
Mate, so for our Sydney and outside of Adelaide and Melbourne listeners, he's played his 250th.
250,
and I know he's playing against West Coast, but he's just gone and kicked 10-2. 10
really?
goals, 2. Yeah, mate, they were dead set looking for and look, he got a couple of easy ones, but he kicked.
Oh, mate,
he kicked 10.
Come on.
They were looking for him.
He got 7.5 easy ones.
Yeah, they were looking, mate. They looked up and seen no one on.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, it's one of those things, like they've done a few times with Buddy on his milestones.
They look for him,
get it to him,
Yeah,
and the game was gone really early, and
mate,
West Coast are probably going to help him out as well.
Mate, they won by 122 points. He didn't even take his dinner suit off. He went out in the clothes he played in, Tex. He's still in it.
Yeah.
Grealish style.
I was about to say Jack Grealish style, yeah.
All right. Now the finishing off for the King's birthday game, JB, always a massive game between your mob and Melbourne, and the MND round, and the slide and the money raised. And look, it's an outstanding game. It's outstanding what the Danaher family are doing and whatever else. And mate, it was a fitting game as well.
Yeah, no, it was a good game. All around the whole day. Like it's just getting bigger and bigger. To be honest, everyone's getting around MND. I think they thought 2 million would be nice, and I think they smashed over 2.5 million, nearly 3 million. So
there's 2.7 by half time or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Yeah, and it's good to see Neil, doing what he's doing and really putting his life on show with how he's been affected. But it's good to see everyone getting around him just from all walks of life. So, but no, look, it was a fitting result for Melbourne at the end of the day. A 4 point.
Does it show? Does it show that Melbourne's best is still one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah, I think so. The 4-point margin isn't an accurate reflection of the game, to be honest.
You think Melbourne were a lot better?
Yeah. Yes, we missed the goey and we're starting to miss the mixed day factor and the ruck and all that, but even with them, like they were just better. Like our best on that day wouldn't have beaten their best. They kicked 8 goals, 18. You know.
Yeah, I know. I was just about to say that. They've and that's Carlton-esque.
And that was purely just. I don't think it was our mistakes. It was just them overrunning us majority of the time. And you're right. If they can click like that a bit more consistently, then they are.
And just putting a full stop on that game, Scotty Pendlebury signs another year.
Yeah.
So
get the
bit of math, a bit of quick math. Another 10 games this year.
Yeah.
He gets to 400 by the end of next year. Yes?
He does, yeah.
Staying fit.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. No, I think he'll go another year after that, I think, providing
he's got 2 in him.
Oh, yeah. He can keep going. It's only an injury thing for him now. Like he's good enough to be in the best 22. Definitely. Yeah. Like he hasn't even had those 1 to 2 years where he transitions to forward, kind of a forward mid interchange rotation
type role,
yeah, the Dustin Martin. So he's still got that transition in him, and I think he'll go. And he's the ultimate professional, so I think he'll go 1, if not more, but he'll get 400 next year. But speaking of Trent, my old mate plays 300 this week.
Yep.
So that's a massive achievement for him. So, which is good. So he's gone from.
Are you getting another photo?
Having a photo with me when he was 12 to getting 300. So.
Fuck, you've done well, haven't you?
Oh mate, I set him on his way.
You forgot.
Don't put the mock on him. I
was just about to say you should have started that with JB's joke of the week.
No. He's done well. All the boys in that photo have done well. A few Premiership captains, number 1 draft pick.
You're the mock. Don't fucking speak yourself down like that, JB, mate.
You're now the mock. You're now the mock and the best joke every week.
Exactly.
That's it, mate. On the fucking number 1 rating fucking podcast, mate. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah, and
everyone listens. Look what happened. Look what happens. Brad Arthur's now starting handsy. Keep talking, JB.
That's it, mate. Next will be rigging it to mow his lawn, mate. So don't worry.
Stick your lawnmower with your carry-on.
Oh shit! That'd be the also, wouldn't it?
Mate, you do it. You do it, nude. You do it, nude. All right, lads. That's finished off. All right, quickly before we get into speaking of the joke of the week, fair dinkum, boys. It's my multi this week, and I've done it on the run. So it's been a busy week. I've gone 3 try scorers again. Bradman Best, anytimes try scorer. Newcastle versus the Roosters. Bryce Cartwright, anytime try scorer, Para v Manly. And our man, Nico Hines, to score a try, Cronulla versus Canterbury. Put 100 on it, paying $39.97. So basically you get 4K for your 100.
Tell you what, that's not bad.
Yeah, I'm putting.
That's not bad. Nico Hines is going to be out for revenge,
mate. Yeah. We did this last time, and Sean Johnson didn't pass. This happened last time, and Sean Johnson didn't pass. Remember this?
Yeah,
I reckon the only one is Cartwright.
Sorry, Sean Johnson passed. You reckon Cartwright?
Cartwright's your man. Yeah, Cartwright's all over it at the moment, mate. I reckon he'll bang a double.
I reckon he'll throw it backwards 5 times.
Hey, Hey, you're a Para fan. Look at your head.
He frustrates me.
All right. I know. Look, we're running out of time. JB, 30 seconds on the UFC this week.
Yeah. So just a quick one. So UFC, it's just ran to UFC 289. Amanda Nunes fought Irene Aldana for the bantamweight title. Just demolished her, really.
Flogged her.
All 5 rounds. It was a unanimous decision, but Aldana's got a granite chin, like should have dropped, but didn't. But yeah, so Nunes won. She's the greatest of all time in the women's section, and she's retired. So fair enough. Like she's done enough. Like she's.
I didn't realise
everyone.
She's retired after that fight.
Yeah, she threw it in.
Fuck,
the only other one is Juliana Pena. She's 1-1 with her, but the second time around, Nunes just absolutely reconfigured her face. So she's got nothing to prove now, and her missus is pregnant again. So she's done. So which is she's well deserved. But the co-main event, Charles Oliveira and Beneil Dariush. That was I thought in my head that was going to be like a close fight, and that's basically when their fights Islam Makhachev for the lightweight title. But Charles Oliveira just smashed the fuck out of this bloke in round 1. So Oliveira's the previous lightweight champion now. He's got a point to prove now. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there, because in that discussion is Volkanovski as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Our man.
So
Volk's
got a fight coming up. Just got to go down and just.
Do you know?
It's in Sydney. It's in
Sydney,
a few weeks.
Is Ty and Rob Whittaker fighting in that?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all 3 Aussies are fighting in it.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure at the moment.
In Sydney?
Yeah.
In Sydney. To try and get a ticket.
Fucking oath.
Probably sold out.
Yeah, true.
But no, interesting. It'd be it's a
They'll
lot
give the
of good
bleachers.
fights coming up.
They'll give the bleachers tickets. Don't stress.
Ringside, mate.
Just as long as the mock doesn't back any of them, we can get tickets.
Haven't said a thing.
I'll mow your lawn too. If you need your lawn mower,
that's it.
I'll bring me carry on. All right, hit us with the joke of the week, JB.
All right, so joke of the week, as per usual. Woodley mowing. Give him a call. I'll sort you out.
Australia wide now. After tonight, Australia wide.
They will. There's a few extras in there. All right, so morning sex.
You're the best.
She was standing in the kitchen preparing our usual soft-boiled eggs with toast for breakfast, wearing only a t-shirt that she normally slept in. As I walked in, almost awake, she turned to me and said softly, "You have to take me now. You have to love me at this very moment." My eyes lit up and I thought, I'm either still dreaming or this is going to be my lucky day. Not wanting to lose the moment, I embraced her and then gave it my all right there on the kitchen table. Afterwards, she said, "Thanks," and returned to the stove with a t-shirt around her neck. Happy, but a little puzzled, I asked, "What was that all about?" And she explained, "The egg timer's broken." You get it?
Like the best part about the joke was you saying, "Do you get it?"
We're laughing. We're laughing. We couldn't get words out, and you've got "Do you get it?" Oh, stop it! Oh, this podcast is getting better and better by the way.
Oh,
stop it!
Fucking hell!
Look, that That sort of shit sends it. That sort of shit sends us viral. That sort of shit.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
All right, boys.
oh fuck.
We might not be here next week. We just might be talking about jokes. We don't.
I'm looking at my kitchen right now, I'm like, I'm trying to look at it how it works.
You don't even have an egg timer.
No, I don't. And I'm trying to picture where you'd put it.
Oh, stop it.
Oh, if
All right,
only.
boys.
If only.
Go and watch the Socceroos versus the Argies. Watch Leo Messi get put in the air. Harry Sutter puts him in the air 2 foot. But boys, again, thanks for the chat. We might do the double next week. We'll do another show beforehand and a show after the Origin because no doubt there's going to be some news and rumours and whatever else going around. So
yeah,
we'll put them all to bed. But boys, have a good week. And
all right, up the Blues, eh?
Fucking oath. Let's go, lads.
Up the Blues.
Beautiful. All right. See you, gents.
All right, hooroo. See ya.
See you, boys.
Bye.
You get it?